The Infinix GT20 Pro looks like a gaming smartphone. It has a dedicated gaming display chipset, but how well does it play games? Now, I'm not talking about games like Candy Crush. Can it play Call of Duty Warzone and Genshin Impact with no lag and a good frame rate? Well, let's find out. This smartphone is powered by the MediaTek Dimensity 8200 Ultimate chipset, a 4nm processor, and the Mali G610 MC6 GPU. It comes with 12GB of RAM, and based on benchmark scores, it's a very capable smartphone. Now, jumping into games like Real Racing 3, the reason I like this game is because you can use the gyro to control the vehicle. This will give you an idea whether the gyro on this smartphone is good or not, and yes, it's good. Also, the sound and graphics of this game is cool. Now, the game ran well with no lag and no hiccups. The temperature of the smartphone before playing this game was 32 degrees and the battery level was at 100%. Now, after playing this game for 30 minutes, the temperature rose to 34 degrees and the battery level dropped to 96%. The brightness was at 60%, not bad. Now, moving on to Mobile Legends Bang Bang, the Infinix GT20 Pro effortlessly played the game at ultra frame rate and ultra graphics. The gameplay was smooth with no lag or stuttering. Now, when I launched this game, the phone's temperature was at 31 degrees, but after 30 minutes, it rose to 40 degrees. The phone did feel warm, but it didn't feel uncomfortable. As for the battery level, it dropped from 96% to 90%. Moving on to Pubg Mobile, the Infinix GT20 Pro ran the game at Ultra HDR graphics. You can also set it to smooth graphics and ultra extreme frame rates. Now, this smartphone was able to consistently maintain 119 FPS, which is impressive. The lowest I saw the FPS drop was to 109 FPS, but almost immediately it went back to 119 FPS. Now, initially the phone's temperature was 34 degrees when I started this game, but after playing Pubg for 30 minutes, it rose to 39 degrees. The battery level dropped to 90%. Now, CODM was perfect on this smartphone. It ran the game at very high graphics and maximum frame rate. The gameplay was smooth with no lag and no overheating. The smartphone temperature when I started playing this game was at 36 degrees, and after 30 minutes of gameplay, it rose to 37 degrees, while the battery level dropped to 72%. Now, Genshin Impact, one of the most graphic intensive games you can play on mobile, did not stress this smartphone. I couldn't believe it. It was able to play the game at the highest graphics settings and also at 60 FPS. Most of the time it maintained 60 FPS and dropped to as low as 49 FPS, but it picked back up. Now, the phone got warm, but it didn't lag. Now, before I launched Genshin Impact, the temperature of this smartphone was at 33 degrees, and after 30 minutes of gameplay, it rose to 44 degrees. The battery level dropped to 55%. Now, moving on to Call of Duty Warzone, I played the game at mid graphics. The gameplay was alright. The phone temperature before playing this game was at 40 degrees, and after 30 minutes of gameplay, it rose to only 41 degrees. The average FPS playing this game was 34 FPS. Now, this smartphone has bypass charging, where the smartphone draws power to power itself and not charge the battery. This will keep the phone cool while you're connected and playing games. Another feature this smartphone has is a dedicated gaming display chipset that boosts the game's frame rate to up to 120 FPS. So if, for example, you're playing a game that is running at 30 FPS, this chipset can boost it to up to 120 FPS, resulting in a smoother gameplay. Now, this option is not available to all games. It's available on Pubg, and you don't need to turn on this feature for Pubg because this smartphone on its own can play Pubg at higher FPS. Now, for a game like Pubg that is already running at close to 120 FPS, what I noticed is when you enable the dedicated gaming chipset to boost the frame rate even more, it ends up decreasing the frame rate. So don't turn on this feature for games that are running above 60 FPS. After testing out some of the most graphic intensive games on mobile, the Infinix GT20 Pro handled them well. It didn't throttle, it didn't overheat, partly thanks to the liquid cooling system that is inside it, but this smartphone is truly a capable mid-range gaming device. Now, this is just my gaming review. I'm also going to be making a full review where I'm going to test out the cameras, the build quality, and other stuff. So subscribe to my channel if you don't want to miss out on that. Thank you for watching, and I'm going to see you guys very soon with more content like this. Valor Reviews, signing out. Now, if you found this video to be useful, hit the like button. See you guys later.